Welcome to my channel, to everyone who's new here, and of course to those of you who are back again, great to have you here. In this video we are going to talk about Render, TAO, Kaspa and ONDO. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. So let's just start with Render. So we have drew 2 days ago those two scenarios. Neither of them happened. They happened combined together. So we have said here, first scenario, we break to the downside, get our retest and our follow through. It happened. But we also have said we have here a fair value gap which can get filled, and we just filled them afterwards and still we can sell off. So what is my current plan for Render? Let me delete this one so everything looks more clean. So what did we track? We have tracked an head and shoulders formatation which broke to the downside, got its retest, got its follow through, got another push filling the fair value gap, but still the target $3.47 to $3.38 is currently ongoing. And I'm just taking the length of one shoulder. Now I will put the whole head, also make it red here. And we always, we don't put it to the breakout point once we get a retest. So once we get a retest, we put it to the retest point like this, to the tops right here. And then you can see we can even reach for prices down to $3.24 for Render. So there's also a fair value gap, a very small one. Taking profits once $3.47 should be a good option. What we can also build here, and that's why I would just steal this white trend line on the upside, we can also just form a bigger falling wedge in my opinion. Will I hit it? Almost perfect. So something like this. I don't want to count this one as a falling wedge. It looks more like a bull flag to me. So let me do this one in orange. So if we are going to sell off, and we are just going to sell off into $3.58 and we get there a bounce, then I would be very careful with Render, because that can mean that we have a huge bullish divergence on the chart. But for that I have to delete this one here. Might be possible that we just have here a triple bullish divergence once we sell off to $3.58. So if I'm in a short position, once we get to $3.58, I would be very careful. I would set a stop loss pretty tight, maybe even up here. So if we bounce, then I get stopped out in profits instead of losing all my gains and even get in losses. But if we lose that, then the target of $3.26 in its maximum extension is possible in my opinion. So let's just jump into the next coin, TAO. So TAO didn't do what we were expecting, but still went into our take profit. We were expecting that we are going to see a small bounce into the fair value gaps which we have right here. This didn't happen, but from there we should have looked for a breakout or selling off into our take profit area. Both didn't happen, so I can take this one out, but the TAO short trade is still ongoing. I already took profits earlier. I took profits right here with this sell-off, even though I have said $3.64 is going to be the first take profit, even a bit higher, $371. I always consider taking profits a bit more earlier because this could have happened. And then I would lost my gains, even the position is going to hit the stop loss, whatever. That's why I always consider taking profits a bit more earlier. But we are currently in a take profit area. And yes, it can even reach down for 330 US dollar. So I'm slowly decreasing my position size for TAO. I know it's not the smartest option if everything else sells off. then TAO can also sell off far more. But since this sell-off is very impulsive in my opinion, the other coins aren't impulsive, so I can take profits for TAO and I can reinvest my profits into the other coins, because once the other coins are heavily selling off, TAO is maybe doing this, doing a small lower low, and then everything goes up. So this is the game plan at the moment. So I think we are going to see a sell-off down to 330 US dollar, because I don't see any kind of signs which are telling me, hey, we are bullish and we are breaking to the upside. We are going into the targets which we have from our short pattern, this head and shoulders formatation. And we went into both targets of it. So let me take this one out of the chart. This worked pretty good. The next target, we have to put it then to the breakout point. This is here, the rising wedge. We don't put it to the breakout point anymore. We put it to the retest point. New target, 348 US dollar. I will also take this one out of the chart because we are so close to it that I just say, hey, this chart pattern worked. It worked pretty good. So this one out. So now we just have fair value gaps down to 330 US dollar. So let's see what TAO is going to do. I think it's going to sell off, and then we have to look for more chart patterns. So what about Kaspa? So for Kaspa, we were thinking that we are going to sell off. Once the 9.4 cents breaks to the downside, then we should sell off even down to 8.2 cents. So if I move this price mark here to the downside, to the left side, breakout, retest, breakout, and here we got a second retest of the bright blue trend line. Stop loss is set right here. Why that? Because this is not a heavy resistance in my opinion. This one looks better. We still have a fair value gap here, so I have to put my stop loss order over the fair value gap to give the trade more space. Otherwise, if I have put my stop loss order right here, then I would have got stopped out in losses and would be even here in profits. That's why always getting a bit more space within the trade is good. So if we switch into the 50 minutes chart, then this somehow looks to me like a small head and shoulders formatation. If we just take the length of one shoulder, then it's going to be 8.76 cents. This would also be, if we get a candle close right there or lower than that, then this would also be the follow through to this one right here, to this breakout. So basically, then the target of 8 cents to 6.8 cents is going to be very realistic for me, for Kaspa, before we see a nice push where we can say maybe we are going to get over the top here at roundabout 12 cents. We have to break the 13.2 cents to the upside to be completely bullish. Then I expect a nice push to 20.3 cents, but you can already see it how far it's from the current price. So 47%. Is it going to break to the upside this week? No. I think no way that we are going to break it in the next days. We have to wait probably 1 or 2 months that we break that to the upside. So that's why, since we are breaking to the downside, and since the chance is very high that we should see this price area, I'm looking for long positions in that price area between 8 cents to 6.8 cents. So I can actually take the way up, which is 77% without leverage. And if we break it to the upside, and the 20 cents is going to be the target, then I can trade here a big move, which is 175% up to that number. And on the way up, I can increase my position size even more. So if I do it good and if the chart is pretty easy to trade, we have seen it quite often with other coins. For example, a few months ago, I think 3 or 4 months ago with Cardano, where it always broke to the upside, got our retest and followed through. And it made it 4 or 5 times in a row. So I can double up 4 to 5 times. And it's always getting into more profits. So sometimes I have trades like that where I do a 20x on my trade, on my initial capital. And this trade right here, if everything goes good, if we see nice chart patterns with nice breakouts, no fake outs, not we are just going halfway to our target and then sell off very hard and hit our stop loss. If that is not the case, then Kaspa has the potential, if we double up and play a bit with our earnings. Here is a 100x possible. So that's why I will keep looking for Kaspa, very, very precise and detailed once we get in the area 8 cents. So what about ONDO? ONDO also broke here to the downside, 98.3 cents. Even got another push, but we failed to get over this resistance, over this top. So basically, we have currently 3 targets ongoing. For that, we have to go into the 50 minutes chart. This can also look like an head and shoulders formatation, which is close to a breakout. Then the target is going to be 88 cents. But we also have here our bigger chart pattern, head and shoulders formatation, which already broke to the downside, but we don't put the lengths, like the targets, to the breakout point. We are taking this then to the retest point. And then we can see 89 cents to 85 cents is going to be our target, but don't underestimate fair value gaps. And you can see it that we have quite many of them. Even though they are small, they are very close to each other. So I would even say we can sell down to 79 cents, and if we are very unlucky with ONDO, then even down to 70 cents, where we have the next fair value gap. So basically, there I also want to look for more long positions, because for ONDO, we have 4 bigger plans, similar to Kaspa. We had on the 4-hour chart a falling wedge, which broke to the upside, but we had to break the $1.13.5 to the upside to look for prices up to $1.60. If we get our second retest, and the second retest can happen, and if we just make this trend line here, let me first take this one out. Messed up a bit. So this one here, we'll make this one longer, and we can also get a retest right here. Then the target is just going to switch, and then we have 2 targets directing us into $1.60. And if this is going to happen, and I look for long positions right in that area, then here's a 136% trade possible. So we have to wait, we have to see. In my opinion, the market looks short, but it looks short on the short term. On the mid-term and long term, we can still expect a new all-time high for Bitcoin. We can still expect a giant push for Ethereum, where we can see maybe prices up to $4,550. And the altcoins are also giving me that sign that we are selling off in the short term, but we have so much potential to the upside. And this potential to the upside, it would be very sad if we miss that. That's why once we get into my certain areas, I will look more precise, more detailed, and I will keep you informed once I see nice breakouts, nice patterns, which we can trade, where we can increase our position size even more and more, save ourselves with stop losses, look for fair value gaps to take profits. So basically everything you need, I provide you on my channel. With that said, thank you for watching, and we see each other tomorrow.